All right, everybody, welcome back. You are watching The Only Marathon, benefiting the Trevor Project. Now, we'd like to send a massive shout out and a thank you to Argic, who's offered us his channel this weekend to host The Only Marathon. He streams every day, apart from Thursday and Friday, so feel free to follow this channel if you like Sonic speedrunning or just for casual gameplay every Tuesday. Right now, though, we have King Rhodes with Eminem Shellshock, and thanks to all of you lovely people in chat, we had a deluge of donations to come in to meet the incentive, so we are going to be seeing all those cutscenes. I will read those off as soon as I have the chance, but first, let's get King Rhodes in here and get this game started.
Bright and early, 7 o'clock for me out here on the East Coast. And I am King Rhodes, and this is going to be Eminem Shellshock, and this is going to be an experience. If you guys have never seen this game, it is a treat. It is a treat. So before we get into this, or to get going, we're going to jump right into the game because the beginning's a little slow. So we're going to start here. So I am ready to go. So we'll do a quick countdown and we'll get rolling. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So I won't talk through these cutscenes here.
Well, my yellow fellow, it's time these M&Ms had a little R&R.
R&R? Is that a new candy? Are we being phased out?
We are going on vacation. Come on. One last thing before we arrivederci. Who did you leave in charge of the candy factory? Hello? It's what? They what? And what?
You're turning red.
Repeat after me. I did not leave the M&M's Minis in charge of the candy factory. Has your chocolate melted? Have you gone completely nuts?
Well, the minis aren't that bad. All they need is a chance.
They just need a chance.
All you need is a brain donor. Get to the factory, pronto! There's a Minis mutiny going on. They've stolen the formulas for all the M&M's candies. Stop those Minis. Find those formulas. Go, go, go! There goes my partner. There goes my career.
And there we go. So we donated for about like 10, 12 more, something like that of those. So you guys are in for a treat, like I said. So quickly about this game, we'll explain in the next 3 stages what this game really looks like again if you've never seen this. But for the beginning of this game, we're basically driving a car. So our objective is just to dodge everything. We don't really have to collect these boxes. I just kind of do it out of habit. These boxes do kind of help us keep us in the right route. The cars are always the same and all that kind of stuff. If you die, you go back to the previous checkpoint, which will be a blue mark on the ground that we're going to see here. But for right now, we're just going to keep dodging, and we're going to let our host go through and do our donations here for us.
Well, thank you so much, King Rhodes. Like I said, you guys came through with an amazing number of donations right at the last minute to make this happen. We got $50 from Mini Mall with no comment. We got another $50 from Mindezi. Says, look, I need to see these cutscenes, all right? This looks like an amazing video game, and I can't imagine the cutscenes are any less perfect. We got $5.55 from Silver Moonlight. Says, we need to watch those cutscenes no matter what. We got $50 from Danteshi1325 with no comment. We got $18 from Sacred Legion 2 with no comment. And finally, we got $10 from Big the Dave that says, wow, is this a Slim Shady TMNT crossover? How 90s can you get? Wait, what's that? It's those chocolate advert mascots. Well then, how 90s can you get? Thank you everyone for all of your generosity. I'm blown away. We just crossed $8,700. We're at $8,705.55. And I mean, we're making so much money for the Trevor Project. This is amazing. So thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you guys all for donating for the cutscene side. I've never have done an actual speed run. You don't think of speed runs and cutscenes, but this game you need the cutscenes to make it somewhat enjoyable. And again, you'll see what I kind of mean by that in a second. But there's 3 of these stages to start off. They're all called Get Out of Town, just 1, 2, 3. There is a cutscene, if I'm trying to remember correctly, at the beginning of every one, at the end of every 3rd level. So it kind of sets up where you're going in the stage. So it actually has like the little background, like this is what you're actually doing. As you saw in that first cutscene, Yellow got into the car and kind of drove off, and then we're driving. And then, you know, after we fight the 3rd stage, so most of these stages have kind of a boss in the 3rd stage. So that's kind of how this works. So you have 2 kind of regular stages and then a boss stage. This is the only level, if I recall, that does not have a boss. And you'll see we do have another driving section coming up about 2/3 of the way into the game. That's a little more difficult than this, and that will have an actual boss fight at the end, technically, if you want to call it that. From going through here, there's one little spot right here coming up. This can be kind of tough right there because the physics in this game and or hitboxes in the game are super jank. Both are that's kind of how this is going to work for this. So I'm probably going to take quite a few deaths here, and that's just because this game is going to, you know, be the game itself. And when I actually take a death, you'll kind of see what I mean by that. If by chance I do skip a cutscene, we will go back right at the end of the run and play that back for y'all. It's so hard to not mash through everything because you're so used to mashing buttons as a normal speedrunner, you know, as you all know how that goes. So when I did a practice, I have skipped one on accident. So by chance, but I'm gonna do my best to keep my hand off the controller as we finish each stage, so we can kind of just go through and watch these beautiful things. It is a good thing, you know, when you're going through watch these cutscenes, because they are all voiced, you know, all by the original voice actors of these characters. So it is kind of cool that they actually able to bring this in. But it does kind of seem sometimes the budget may have went more into the cutscenes than the actual game itself. But again, we'll power through this and we'll have a lot of fun with this janky mess here coming up for this. But yeah, we're getting close. I'm about halfway through this level already here. We got some bikers and everything that goes through, and we're just dodging all this. And then as you saw at the beginning, I was making fun of that cow. So we got a cow. So we don't know what universe is even set in, because it feels like the M&M universe is our universe, because, you know, they are just our chocolate candy. But then you got a cow with a giant head that's bigger than like the entire road just, you know, comes through. So who knows what's actually going on when it comes through this. And on top of this game, this is obviously not the only M&M's game there's out there. There's actually a game that they made that's the exact same as this, if I'm not mistaken, but it's like a math game. So on top of playing these levels, there's like basic learning math that goes along with this game, which is also an interesting find. But yeah, we're done with Get Out of Town 3 as we pull up to yellow M&M statue. Okay. And we have our next cutscene.
Here goes nothing.
Wait, little friend. Maybe it's time to ask who's the best candy for the job. Maybe this calls for the ringer, the top gun, the go-to guy. Nah, you're right. You go.
Wish me luck.
Miracles happen every single day. They do. We're dead.
All right. So again, we got one at the end of every scene and the one at the beginning. So we have another one coming up right here.
Oh no, the minis have messed with the milk chocolate. We're in big trouble.
The minis have messed with the milk chocolate. You are in big trouble.
And that sets up as these levels are called milk chocolate. So now we have 3 levels in milk chocolate. And we get to go through, and now we get to see what this game actually looks like. So we can find out the people over at Naughty Dog were inspired so much by this game that they made Crash Bandicoot based on M&M's, if that was only the case. So this is just a reskin of Crash Bandicoot. All the things are about essentially the same. We have yellow that we get to run around, we jump and spin. That's our attack. Again, those blue things on the ground are cuts are checkpoints. So when we die there, we actually get to go back to that spot. And if you look in the bottom right hand corner, I have a helmet. So those brown boxes have power-ups in them. There are 3 power-ups in this game, and we're gonna see all 3 of them throughout the run. We have this helmet again, so this allows us to take damage one time. So it's kind of like our Aku Aku mask, but we can't stack them. So you heard that noise, that little kadoom or whatever that was. That kind of notifies us that we got our power up, but we already have one. So we don't have like double the helmet or whatever it is. So I only get to keep the one that we have. When I lose the power up, you'll hear like a loud like bang noise, and that is kind of like we'll just get shot in a certain direction, which makes this actually pretty interesting because sometimes having the helmet, obviously taking damage and not dying is, you know, the better situation. But this game's physics are so janky, you can actually get shot in certain directions depending on your momentum and depending on what enemy you get hit by. So we can get hit by an enemy, say in the back, and it'll shoot us forward so fast we can actually go off screen and die. And same thing goes with left and right. So like getting hit could still easily, you know, cause death just because the game is just kind of crazy. So we're gonna go through here, and we finished Milk 1. So now we're going over to Milk 2. So this is the first instance that we're going to see here of our speed shoes that we're going to see. That's the second power up. We're going to use this to get through about, skip about half this stage here. So just like even in the original Crash, we have a teleporter that can teleport you to kind of like bonus areas. Well, they have this in this game as well. Oh, and actually we're going to get this spring as well. I forget what's at the beginning here. It's not necessary to get it. And I just took damage, so as you can see, there's our damage. Shouldn't need the helmet for this stage anyways, but let's see what happens here. So the spring allows you to jump higher. So that's all that is there. You don't really need that again at the beginning of that stage, but you can have it just for the sake of it. And I don't normally take damage there, but we just kind of messed up just a little bit, so. But while I was going back to the teleporter, this is the only level, if I'm not mistaken, that uses the teleporter in this context. So you can also see sometimes when I hit a brown box, there's like a candy that goes to the top. That's like the quote-unquote like 100% part there, if we wanted to call it a 100% part. So we got the speed shoes. We're gonna run here. We're gonna go through this part right here, and we're gonna jump top left, and we're gonna hit the teleporter. We're gonna hold the jump button so we jump over all the boxes, and then we get to this teleporter, and it takes us right to the end of the stage. So we get to skip about half the level there, give or take, and it's completely intended to skip. So that kind of works out for us in our favor. So now we're into the first boss that we actually face. So this boss, we're gonna do a skip. So this game actually has 2 boss skips. We're gonna go for the second one for a little bit, and then we're gonna go back and reset if we can't get it. The second boss skip really doesn't actually save that much time, if any. However, it's still cool to see and kind of show off, so we're gonna go for that there. This one, there's a chance of us dying as well if I miss the jump. So we'll do this a few times if we can't get it. So we want to get close to the edge. There we go. So this should be just fine. We're gonna aim for this purple platform in the corner. There we go. So we just don't even have to fight the boss, and we can jump to the end of the stage. And there's the first skip cutscene. So my apologies there, because my finger. Let's just do this. That took us 2 seconds here. That took 2 seconds for us. We're gonna go back and real fast and do this real quick. Won't add much time to this. So you're gonna see this boss again. So if you didn't see it the first time, this boss is just as good the second time. So we definitely couldn't do that if we at the beginning of the stage, but let's just do this again. Since we kind of our thumb got a little trigger happy there. So let's go ahead and let's go for 2 for 2. Let's just show off that, you know what, this trick isn't all that hard, all that's cracked up to be. So again, we're gonna get on the edge of this, and we're gonna kind of get off the edge there. Might not be far enough left. We got it anyways. Let's go. Now we're not gonna hit that X button here. Now we're gonna watch a cutscene. There we go. All right, here we go.
Whoa! Oh no! It's Big Boss Cam!
Sir, I did a terrible thing. I left the minis in charge of the factory.
He delegated, the hallmark of a confident manager.
They're turning the whole place upside down.
A chance to review our emergency plans.
I don't know what to do. Please help me. Oh, please.
Today's manager can admit that he doesn't have all the answers.
I'm a big, huge, yellow goofball.
He's a big, huge, yellow goofball. So, hot enough for you?
There we go. So that was definitely worth going back and doing that boss fight again. 100%. 100%. So now we're my favorite cutscene.
Oh, shoot.
I'll say, this factory's full of them. Well, while you're shooting the chutes, I'll be in the green room mapping a new offensive strategy. Or hiding in a broom closet. Whatever.
There we go. I love that. I love the opening. It's oh shoot. And that's the name of the stages. Oh shoot, 1, 2, and 3. So now we're on oh shoot. These are the worst. Okay, well, I don't want to say worst stages because there's a lot of pretty bad stages in this game. Like towards the end, I kind of explain how the last couple stages work. These levels are so bad just because the physics are really rough. So when we talked about the janky physics, so these conveyor belts are pulling us obviously in the opposite direction, and your momentum is definitely slowed. So every jump, every time you take a hit, it's just so there. Almost died. Almost got stabbed in the back there. I gotta wait a second. There we go. But it all preserves your momentum no matter what you do. So again, this is just really tough to go through. There's this part coming up. We're gonna get this checkpoint. I'm gonna explain this here when we get in here in this next room. There's a checkpoint that you can actually die when getting the checkpoints. Let's see. We need it though because I'm a little ahead of myself. This next checkpoint coming up in this down room here. So the one good thing about these stages and this game is there are a lot of checkpoints kind of mixed in between. This checkpoint right here, we're gonna grab it in the air. There we grab it in the air without touching it, but the ground on the side of these stages are death. So even those boxes there, it is death. I'm gonna stop moving for 1 second there. So as you can see, yellow's momentum in the air is really fast right now. That's because of the conveyor belt shooting us. So you have to be careful because you can actually phase through boxes even. You can jump on a box and then it's not there and you fall right through the box. So we had to make sure that we came up short. And then once we get the first box, we're fine after that. We jump over this guy, then we're gonna go through right here, and we're at the end of the stage. So that is shoot 1. Oh, shoot 1. Can't forget the O there. All right. So now we're in oh shoot 2 here. And we got, there we go, we're on the spring now. And I DC said someone mentioned in chat there. Yes, so we do probably have a little bit of a video delay. I normally have to have a delay when I stream. So do want to clarify that up there. I normally have, it's like a second, oh, I got to check one though. About a second half delay, I think normally. So yeah, I use the Elgato and a Tink 5X. So we do have a little bit of a delay. So where we don't actually delay our audio here, we're gonna be just a little bit ahead, but that's all right for what we're doing for this. We're still getting the lovely M&Ms going through here. That's what really matters with bringing this together. Is our chocolate candies here. I skipped this checkpoint because the ending is right here. I've never really died at the end of the stage, but I say that every time, and I'm always waiting to jinx myself. That first time, it will jinx myself, and we'll go through here. So now we're into the third level of oh shoot. We are in the boss stage now. So this boss stage, hopefully don't mess it up. I messed it up in practice like every time I was doing this. This is one of the easiest bosses that you can do. But yeah, let's see what we got. So we're just gonna run and we hit these TNT crates. So I gotta hit the first 3 crates. And then on the 4th crate, you have to stutter just a tiny bit, because if you don't, you're actually too fast. And he will walk, you'll be in front of there. You also have to stop moving. If you don't stop moving, then you can hit that next TNT crate. And that TNT crate, or the bomb crate in this case, we're not playing Crash, sorry, will actually blow up through the wall. And you can actually die through the wall there as a screen transition.
Urgent memo from upstairs.
Ow. Memo. Get things under control now, or we're sending in green to finish the job. Green. How do I look?
Chill out, Romeo. If Green comes to finish the job, guess who gets all the credit, all the kudos, all the job well done?
Don't tell me. I know this one.
Green, that's who. Green, green, green.
Where?
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So that was our second boss. So I did it again. Okay, well, we'll go back and watch that in the next stage. That's not speedrun mentality. So Candy Colors 1. We got to remember that. We'll go back after this and we can exit out of the stage here. I'm going to save this for the end because I don't have a memory card in. It could potentially lose some save data, and we don't want to do that. So we will go back and watch Candy 1 for y'all at the very, very end here. So talking about this platform, so this is a PS1 game. I have forgot to mention that, and we are playing currently on a PS2 because we want to use fast disk speed. Using fast disk speed will save us about 4+ minutes on the run itself over just playing on the PS1. When I originally was running this game, I was playing on the PS1, and then I realized that the PS2 was significantly faster just from the loading times itself. So we were definitely grinding sometimes and realizing, oh wow, we can literally save 4.5-5 minutes by just playing on a PS2. And lucky enough I had a PS2 over there, so we were able to make that transition pretty easily there. So that's why we're playing on a PS2, even though it is a PS1 game. So this game is so it's literally the year 2000, I believe, is when this game came out. Stop here. Oh, almost took a death. We're gonna dodge these colors here. We're gonna see another cool with our janky physics. So let's get ready here. So we're just gonna walk on air essentially on this. Maybe not. Okay, we're gonna walk on air now essentially. There we go. Just walked right into the hole and died. And we're gonna do the exact same thing here. We're gonna get on this edge and we're gonna walk and basically out the side here. That paint can kill you, but for some reason the hitbox does not reach out to the edge of the platform, so you can just straight up walk through that entire piece there. So I'm gonna keep jumping here. Wait, actually, wait a second, let that go. Jump, go. Okay, I want to keep jumping because jumping actually, will propel you in the direction that you're going off that platform. So since that platform was moving forward, we had all that extra, movement there. So now we are in Candy Colors 2. So the gimmick of these stages are basically you have these paint shooters that kind of shoot you. The crazy thing about this stage is there's some that are actually going to be off stage here. So there's going to be 1 or 2 that we're going to we're up it. Really, you don't even have to be this far over to the side. I can be like right there and still be fine. But there's a couple paint shooters that we got to dodge through here. There's one coming up right here that we can't see until we're there, right on it. And it shoots normally a little bit faster than that. So we were a little bit ahead of schedule there. So that's pretty solid. Let's see here. So this next jump coming up is actually kind of crazy right here. This can cause death if I walk too far. We're good. I have died there plenty of times doing runs here. That's a little danger crate. So those are danger crates in place of our nitro crates. If we're comparing, this is, it's not like this is a game that's made like anything else. As you see right there, we kind of got stuck on the ceiling on the wall when we jump. Again, there's a lot of random spots that I can die. Hopefully we don't hit too many of them. And we're almost to the end of the stage here, which is this other thing that's funny. There's a checkpoint right here, and the stage is literally 2 seconds in front of us, but there we go. I'll take that. I'll take the checkpoint and then a death. That's like the 3rd death we've had, but literally 2 of them have been right next to checkpoints, so I'm never going to complain about that. And there's the end of Candy Colors 2. So now we're going to this next boss fight. So I will try this fight, the skip for like 30 seconds, give or take. I will try about 30 seconds. We'll see how long it takes us. If we don't get it, then we'll take an intentional death and go do the fight that's the intended way here. So we got this little whatever you want to call this thing here, and we just got to jump on these platforms. As you can see, there's like a little paint falling from the sky. But actually, we can completely skip this by jumping through the door. Let's see if we can get this here. Let's take, we got about 30 seconds. Let's see how long it takes. So you can get it really instantly, or sometimes it can take a little bit longer. It's a little precise setup, kind of like when you jump into the wall. Oh, we almost got it. You kind of saw me go really, really high there. You kind of just keep pulling, kind of hopefully you get over. So I was too close. 1, maybe 2 more little tries here. If you don't get it within the first few jumps, you don't normally get it. And I'll do 1 more. So can we get this? And it does not look like we're getting through. Okay, all right. Well, we can normally jump over that door. just gonna die here so I can get the actual setup for the boss fight. So that's what you can do. And again, it does not actually save you all that much time, believe it or not. This boss fight's not cooperating. What are you doing, boss? What are you doing? What are you doing, buddy? Okay, well, we just died there. All right, he's supposed to come down to the bottom right. I've never actually seen him do that. That has never happened before. We can actually say that in this M&M games. That has never happened before. He did it again. Okay, so I'm doing something completely wrong here. And I don't, again, normally fight this boss because we normally do the skip if we can. There we go. Well, we did anyways. So now we're running into some problems. Okay, but we're good. We're pushing on. We're pushing on.
Gentlemen,
So, you here to learn a thing or two about disaster management?
where are your hard hats?
I have an unusually hard shell.
Yeah, I left my hat in the executive lounge.
While you were collecting the trash?
When I want comments from the peanut gallery, I'll fill out a purchase order.
That reminds me. Which of you ordered the inflatable power nap sofa with dual cup holders and miracle foot massage?
That was him!
Ugh. Margaret, cancel my other appointments. Gonna be a long one.
Now I could go for some power nap recliner with foot massage. That sounds like fantastic.
As efficiency expert, I'll be timing your performance.
Actually, I do better in the...
That was it. I didn't skip the cutscene, I swear. That one was like 2 seconds long. All right, now we're into the stage. It's called Stampin' and Sortin' here. Stampin' and Sortin', okay. So this stage right here has a couple of unique little spots. If I actually jump at a few points coming up right here, you can actually die and fall through the ground. So let's not do this here. So if I jump on this next platform right here, if I jump, it'll actually start moving while I'm in the air. I'll jump right through the platform, and you would think, oh, well, there's a conveyor belt there, you're fine, you're there. No, you just completely jump right through the ground and you die instantly. Same thing with this section. If you fall too far down and try to skip a couple of those boxes, you will actually fall too far and the game doesn't register like where you're at and you just die as well. So that's definitely a very annoying part because you know where all the boxes are at and you can kind of just walk straight there, but it's like, nah, you're going to die instead. So this part is super specific timing. So if I had to wait extra, I could not walk off that and skip that danger crate. That section there when I was playing casually has cost me so much time playing casually. I spent so long there. It was insane. So now we're in Stampin' and Sortin' 2. This, I believe, is one of the longest stages. That's not the final, like, 2 stages of the game. The final 2 platforming stages. We are going to skip a checkpoint because, you know, we're a speedrunner. Obviously, we're watching cutscenes, but we're still a speedrunner. We're going to skip a checkpoint to try to make up some of that cutscene time, you know what I mean? You got to make a little bit of that time back up. And the problem with that is there's one jump that can be very finicky, and then I have to start the level all over again. So we're not doing no safety checkpoints here. All right, we're going all the way. So we gotta wait for a platform. No matter how fast you go, as you saw, I just held right and did not stop whatsoever. You can't make that platform. And right above that is our checkpoint. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna jump around. Oh, we actually didn't take damage. Let's go. So you think this is 2D? No, this is like 3D. We can actually go into the camera. We're breaking the fourth wall there. And we jumped around that little section there. So that was the one spot you can die. You can actually get hit by those things that are hanging from the wall, like kind of like the stampers. And you can actually get shot up into the ceiling, or you can get all your momentum taken and you just fall right into the bottomless pit there. It's to the right. Okay, I had to remember which way I was going. There's one spot here in a minute. We're about to go to the left and we fall off a vertical dropping platform there. But now we're gonna hug the wall there, so we can kind of skip some of these boxes. We don't actually take damage there anyways if it comes out on top of us. And now we're like maybe about halfway through, give or take. So this level does seem to go on for a while. I jumped up, so we're gonna go up here. We're gonna go through part of the factory. We can kind of look through, like, look at all these platforms here. Just think of like you're on a platform that crashes, just spinning around, you know. This looks like those, I can't remember those levels, the future levels in Crash, the original that were like crazy hard. I took damage. I should not have taken damage there. That's interesting. Okay. Oh, I was not paying attention. I looked away for half a second and forgot there's an enemy there. So that's fine. Checkpoint's right there, not a big time loss. Okay. So now this is here. We can go 1, 2, 3. We drop off, and we hit a teleporter before we even see that. We grab that. We don't really need that checkpoint, but again, I say that I'm probably gonna end up dying here because once we get through this part right here, there's a checkpoint at the top of the screen. So again, this game is very favorable with checkpoints. However, I will say this game is still pretty hard casually just because of how janky it is. I would definitely recommend giving this game a play just to see what it really feels like, because the movement is not as fluid as it potentially could look. Again, I remember playing this the first time. It took me forever to beat. I had tons and tons of game overs, which we will not end up having a game over, which is, you know, good. And I could mention, I guess I've completely forgot about our live situation. So when I collect boxes, you can see in the top left, I've got 4 minis currently. Each box has a set amount of minis. I think it's like 1 for the red boxes. The brown boxes are 10, blue boxes are 100. And if you look at the top right, I have lives, so I have 13 lives there. Normally at the end, I have close to like 50 or 60 lives. So that's kind of how it works there. Game overs in this game, all game overs do is send you back to that main screen, and you just have to start the level over again. So if you were to hit game over, then you lose all like checkpoint progress in that stage. But then you just get to play that game over, and you don't have to start over from like the complete like quote unquote act. So if I'm in part 2 or part 3 and get game over, I don't go back to part 1. I just go back to that stage itself. But that does make it tricky in the last 2 of the 3 stages. The last 2 platforming stages, the difficulty just ramps up tremendously, like a ginormous amount of difficulty, which is kind of crazy for a game like this. Because as you've seen, it's not, the levels haven't been too hard. There haven't been too many potential problematic spots. But the last 2 stages, when we get there here, we're about 2 stages out from that. The difficulty just ramps up so hard that we took damage there. Those pushers, this could be interesting here at the end. Hopefully we don't die. We have a potential for dying here. I'm gonna get another helmet there just in case. But it frustrates you because you're like, oh yeah, this game's been kind of easy, and then all of a sudden it ramps up the difficulty, and you're like, I'm continually game overing, and I can't beat this game. What the heck? Why can I not beat this game? So we're getting to the end of this. So this boss fight, it literally has been a giant chase. He just chases us, and we just kind of keep running. And that's the end of Stampin' 3.
For a big guy, I'm surprisingly light on my feet.
I'm impressed. I think I'll be giving you a very favorable.
Sure, go ahead and write your report. Tell them we're nothing but a couple of overpaid nincompoops.
Ixnay on the incompoop-nay.
Tell them we botched the whole thing from start to finish.
She said she was impressed.
But tell them this, and get it word for word. They can't fire me. Impressed, huh? Well, what can I say? We do our best. And wait till you hear about our incentives program. Forget stock options. Snack options are where it's at.
Sometimes that candy amazes me.
Gotta ignore them stock options, everyone. You gotta get them snack options. That's what it's all about.
Okay, Yellow, pack it in. This is where candies get packed into bags and boxes.
I knew that. I did.
Oh, then you know that you'll be plunging through the hazardous equipment while I provide the moral support.
I knew that. I did.
Perfect. Okay, there we go. And as you heard, Red said at the beginning, goes pack it in. Well, these next 3 stages are called pack it in. Just pack it in 1, 2, and 3. These stages start getting a little bit harder, but again, they're still not ridiculously challenging. There's a few spots here and there that I'll point out to that could be interesting. Believe it or not, I could actually die here right at the beginning. I have before by running in those danger crates before I grabbed the helmet, and then we took damage there, which we don't normally do. So okay, Great thing, I guess we grabbed that crate when we did. So let's see what happens here. Hopefully I have like a backup crate here. I don't normally pay attention to where all the helmets are at, because even if I grab a helmet, normally I have the helmet to the very end. So I don't really ever pay attention to when I grab the helmet. So let's see if we can find another one just in case. And if not, hey, we'll deal with it. So now we're coming up to some parts here. So I believe we're gonna actually wait right here for this enemy to come through, so then we can jump around. There's gonna be a couple enemies that come through. So this guy is gonna fly right into these crates. We're gonna trigger him, and then we're gonna back up. You can skip that and not take any damage whatsoever, but where I don't have a helmet, I am going to be cautious there. And I went for that helmet. Oh no, that's a big mess up there. Okay, well, let's go back to this again. I guess we'll skip that next time. I've gotten the helmet. I believe that's a helmet as a backup, but for some reason, okay, there's a second death. So now we're going through. Let's see if we can get through this part of the stage now. So this game, I relate to, all those Cosmo Mario hacks that are out there, because once you start dying one time, it's almost impossible to not keep dying. You get like to a spiral death here, and that's the same thing for this game a bunch. You just kind of keep spiraling, you just keep dying, random stuff keeps happening. You can die literally anywhere in this game, randomly. I should not have died in that first death. That was just I guess I was short on my jump, but we're gonna blow this guy up again. Let him go through and let those pieces go. We're gonna go for this again because I need this helmet. Look, that's not a helmet. I thought it was a helmet, so I died for a candy piece. Well, there we go. You guys can see we have a candy piece, and just like this, I'm actually going to back up here. So just like before, you could dodge that on the right hand side, but however, we're not going to risk that without a helmet. That was a long checkpoint. Here is the helmet that we're looking for right here. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking with some peanut oil here. All right, let's get rolling. So we're at the very end of the stage here. This part is where I want the helmet for. This guy here, for some reason, you have to like deke him out because he will move left and right to where you're at. So I do take damage there normal a bunch. So I always have that as a backup. That's why I want the helmet there. Even though the checkpoint is directly behind me, so it's not a big deal when you die. I'd prefer to have a helmet, but we went for one. It didn't turn out to be a helmet, but it happens. That's what happens, So now we're in Pack It In 2. So Pack It In 2 is not a bad stage. It's similar to those where you have a lot of those flying enemies that are like black and red that move kind of with you. These other ones that are like a tan color or on like a set, it's kind of like they just either are stationary, they have a set path forward and back, like that right there. You're gonna see that enemy just kind of floating off to the side, but the black and red ones will kind of actually move towards you a little bit. Oh, that momentum off that conveyor belt almost got me crushed. You don't actually get crushed, but I would have been like stuck there. So you're gonna see me keep jumping to conserve momentum there. Now we're gonna make sure we get over this danger crate, grab our helmet there. Well, we apparently didn't grab the helmet. We hit the bomb crate instead, but okay, we don't really need it. Kind of would like it for this part potentially, but we're good. Checkpoint, so this is right. So we want to stay like here and like jump around. Oh, the momentum again. Okay. And then same thing here. Here's another black and red enemy. Oh, what am I doing? That dude was throwing me off. So I'm gonna let him go over to like the right hand side there, and then we go to the left. There we go. We're a little bit more cautious than we normally are in runs right now, but again, normally I have these power-ups that I am consistently losing and or not getting. That would make it for a marathon run if everything went smoothly. Okay, so I normally take a death right after to the beginning there because you can actually make these without stopping up to that point. So it is faster in my PB attempts to actually take an intentional death there, but I wanted to try to make that jump. So we were just a little short, but it happens. You can hear all the bombs and crates blowing up behind us. We are at this point here, no matter what you do, you cannot catch that platform. And if you die, the platform spawns at the back, so it doesn't save you any time. we are going to wait here. Doesn't actually save you any time there. These platforms I have not mentioned, they also conserve your momentum. So if you jump when they're going up, you get like the highest jump possible, even if it's at the very beginning. So we kind of want to wait for those to be moving upwards when we jump. If they're going down, you'll like fall like a rock when you're going through there. But now we're packing in 3, so now we're in this next boss fight, if you want to call this a boss fight. So this boss fight, this has happened to me one time and another to a friend of mine that was running this game as well, when we were first learning this game and kind of like racing each other. You can actually die here. So let me start over. You just match the crates up with the crate on the ground, with the crate on the cart, you go over. If you don't, the cart doesn't raise up. Okay. The camera can randomly stop following you, but the level will still be played until you die. So all of a sudden, one time we glitched out to about around this corner, the camera just stopped. The cart kept moving, but you could still move and still hear everything. So if you had the route memorized, which is the same thing every single time, you could actually beat this stage without seeing, anything going on. But at that time, it was still relatively early in learning this game. I had no idea. We kind of just freaked out. We're like, what the heck's going on? That glitch has happened one time to me, and I've done, hundreds of runs of this game. So that's a very, very small chance. We don't know what caused that to happen, but it was kind of interesting that it did. And then you see Ella just kind of fall off there.
Bagged, boxed, and ready to ship.
Hey, I'm stuck in a box over here.
What's that, little buddy? Can't hear you.
I'm stuck in a box over here.
Not copying your transmission.
I said I'm stuck in a box over here.
No, you're not.
Why do Spokes candies work in pairs? The little dough guy works alone. He's happy.
Now you're in a box.
Now I'm in a state of emotional despair. There's a difference.
There we go. All right, let's watch this warehouse woes real fast.
I still need to check you out one last time. Let's see how you do with the heavy equipment.
You want me to use my brain?
Oh.
Or not?
All right, so now we are at warehouse woes. So we're now in another driving section of the game. So if we have anything for the host that would like to say, we can do that now.
Right on. Well, I'd like to bring up a couple things, actually. First and foremost, we have a new incentive that is coming up. I say it's new. It's open. It's been open for a little bit. We need to meet an incentive, and it's for the upcoming run of Hellpoint. Now, RPG is going to be running that, an hour and a half or so? And there's a cool incentive there called RPG Hidden Artist. Now, what that means is, if we meet this incentive, RPG is going to stop right before the final boss fight. He's going to open up Paint, and then explain the boss fight in a really silly way, and then actually fight the boss. If you haven't seen this before, it's amazing. So we need to raise $250 to make that happen. We're only $10 in right now. So we need to get some donations in to make that artist incentive happen. Now, I'd also like to bring up that, what we're here to do, and that is to raise money for the Trevor Project. You're watching The Only Marathon, and the entire point is to raise money for them. And they are an organization that works to save young lives by providing support through free and confidential suicide prevention and crisis intervention programs on platforms where young people spend their time, a 24-hour phone lifeline, chat, text, and soon-to-come integrations with social media platforms. So every dollar that we raise is going to an amazing cause, and we thank you so much for all of your generosity thus far.
Yes, thank you guys for everything again. This has been a crazy, awesome, fantastic marathon so far, and we're still just getting started for day 3 in it as well. So I've taken some weird debts here. Those guys actually did not spawn as fast as they should have, so I don't know the reason I died there the first time. And then I took some debts right after a checkpoint, there's invisible walls in this game, like we talked about, some janky physics that are just like out everywhere for no reason, and if you get too close to them without actually even hitting the wall, you will still die. So I was dying by not hitting anything that you could actually see, but there's like an invisible wall there that just sticks out really far. So that's kind of how that happened there. So this has not been the best. We're not supposed to die on these stages at all, and we took like what, 3 or 4 deaths, whatever it was. But we're about the end of Warehouse 1, so we're gonna get into the same thing with Warehouse Woes 2, and it's a little bit more of the same. So during this portion of the game, I want to kind of give my remembrance for Kid and kind of share the impact they had on me through speedrunning. And I got to know Kid very well through Sonic 3D Blast. That was a game that they did a lot of tasking for. There was a task for that, I believe, early yesterday morning. So they did a lot of Sonic 3D Blast stuff, and 3D Blast was my first ever speed game that I picked up, and Kid was the first person that I had ever interacted with in the speedrunning community before I even knew anything about like them, kind of how to kind of get into community, all that kind of stuff there. And that kind of shows that you always have the first streamer that you watch or your first speedrunner that you watch and kind of who got you into speedrunning. And Kid was that first person that kind of got me into the first aspect of community, which is sometimes overlooked when you kind of think about who kind of got you into there. Because I mean, I have plenty of Mario people that I've watched do speedrunning, and I was like, oh, I always want to speedrun. And again, 3D Blast was for some reason that stuck out to me. I didn't do any research into the game, nothing along those lines. I remember watching like on YouTube videos before I even knew anything about SRC and all that kind of stuff there. And I remember submitting a run, and old school, my first run being on a camera that I like sat in a book, and Kid verified that run. And then after I started doing some more runs, Kid actually reached out to me and was like, hey, we actually have a Discord, there's a community that's behind this, all that kind of stuff. So then they were the first person that actually was able to get me into like knowing about what the community aspect of speedrunning is, and that meant a lot to me. And Kid was as well the first person that they were the first person that actually introduced me or showed me that I got into SGDQ. It was 2019, I believe, is the one that we did for 3D Blast. And they kind of messaged me on Twitter and was like, hey, congrats, you got into SGDQ. And I remember I was up late at night and was like, I didn't even know the schedule came out yet. You have to be kidding me. So they broke the news to me that I got into GDQ for the first time. So that was another awesome memory that I have with Kid. But just kind of want to use this time, as this is again somewhat of a little auto scroller, to share my memories and the importance that Kid had on my speed running that I've been able to do. And forever grateful. And we miss you, buddy. And we're gonna keep pushing on and hopefully making you proud with everything that we're doing there. But we're getting back to Warehouse Woes 2 now, if that wasn't appropriate there. And we're getting close to the like 2/3 point. This is an incredibly long stage, very long driving stage. And again, these checkpoints in this stage are really far apart from each other, but I do believe we're getting close to the end right here. We got all these boxes and we're done with this driving. So we're almost done with driving. We're almost out of this stage. So now we are into the next boss fight. We are into the next boss fight here. Excuse me there. All right. So this again is an actual boss fight that we actually have to kill the boss. We're gonna have to not take any hits technically by the boxes that this boss throws out and or shoots off to the side. I'm going to do quite a bit of swerving to stay far behind, so swerving does slow you down a little bit. The pattern for these boxes are the same, and what some runners will do in this stage is take an intentional death, I believe, around the 3rd checkpoint, because you can get really close to this boss. One of the first times I ever did this stage, I actually thought the part of, the whole objective of the game was to reach the boss, like reach the back of the cart. And no, you can actually run into the back of the boss and you die because you take damage to the back of the boss. So we just kind of try to swerve instead of taking intentional death here, which gets kind of crazy. As you see, we're getting really close to these boxes, but in about 1 second here, there we go, the boss shoots forward because it's the end of the stage. And we're good. We beat the boss there. All right, so now we got 2 more cutscenes here.
Gentlemen, it's been an education.
Then give us our report card. F's a funny letter, huh? So F-y and F-ish.
Maybe it stands for fabulous.
Or fantastic.
Or febrifuge. That's medicine used to bring down a fever.
Someone fetch me a febrifuge fast.
Get me a febrifuge. Okay. Second to last cutscene. Here we go.
Voila! The power system for the whole M&M's factory. Madre mia! The minis have been here too!
I can't say I'm shocked.
Oh, I think you'll find a way. Can you say, charge it?
There we go. So that cutscene kind of sets the tone for these stages. These two are the last 2 stages, platforming stages of the game, and we have 1 boss fight left at the end. All right. This has a lot of electricity, as was kind of shown right there at the beginning. This goes to what I was telling you about the game ramp-up in difficulty. The difficulty of these stages is significantly harder than any other stage in the game. A lot more jank can even happen since it is much harder. If we can get through these 2 stages without any deaths, that would be fantastic. My current PB in this game actually has a death. It has like 2 or 3 deaths in the second to last stage. So even my PBs are still not deathless for this game. So we got through the first checkpoint. That's not too bad. This part coming up is the part that is the part that kind of make or breaks the level for me. There's a lot of electricity, a lot of these green enemies that kind of fly around back and forth. It's this section coming up right here. These platforms are all on that specific timer. They all have that specific pattern. But my issue is I try to go too fast sometimes, and when I go too fast, I'll get on the wrong cycle and then actually end up dying. And then I don't have a helmet, and then it just kind of a vicious cycle here. I'm going to wait for this to go. I could have probably made that, but it's fine. There's 1 more there. Now we're on the outside, so that's to me the harder part, but this part can still be interesting because these platforms can be janky right here. Make sure we get our jumps, and there's good, and we're going to jump over that. We need this checkpoint coming up right here, and we're okay. So now if I die at these other parts, it's not the end of the world, but that part there, as you can see, that was an incredibly long time that we did not have a checkpoint, and we would have to go all the way back to the inside if we would have died there. So now we're grabbing the spring, and this is the first time we're actually using the spring that's useful to us. We grabbed it that first time, and it really didn't do us any good, technically. We can skip some platforms by doing that. And now we have a spring again that we actually need to reach these platforms, technically. They spawn when you get to a certain spot. We're going to make this jump, and we're going to try to jump here, and we got it. So you can make that jump without a spring, but it's actually a little challenging here. I'm going to wait.
Oops.
There. I don't know what happened there. I actually fell through the platform, I do believe. I made the jump. I'm a little bit of a loss for words there. I don't quite know what happened there, but okay. Again, M&M's is gonna M&M, and we're gonna keep rolling. So final platforming stage here. There is in this stage now no floor. Everything here is just platforms. There's actual no floor until the very, very end and very, very beginning. I was not holding forward, which is why I died. That's fine. That gets us on the side. Normally you have to wait for that platform anyways. Oh, that was a risky jump that we just pulled off there. So now it's all about getting on these platforms. This level is incredibly difficult because, again, these platforms conserve your momentum. So if I were to jump at any point when the platform is moving, I get launched in that direction. So you can actually skip waiting here, but I wait because normally that platform moves too fast for you to walk on. And you can jump to it, but again, the other platform is moving forward and to the side, and you can get launched over there. I just damage boosted through that, which is totally fine because we're going to get another helmet coming up shortly. We spin underneath that guy, coming around here for this. But now this is a good idea of the momentum. Look at me. I'm going to stand still and I'm just going to jump. So if you don't move, your momentum does not change at all. If you're moving, your momentum gets like ramped up tenfold. So there's no in between in this game. It's just straight up all or nothing kind of really here. Okay. That part always sketches me out. I have to jump around because if I spin those blue boxes, you still contain your spin. Just kind of like crash and you will actually fall through and hit those TNT crates at the bottom and then die because you'll fall right through those. Same thing here. I can jump to this platform here, but I'm going to wait instead to make sure we don't take a death. We jump off these green spiky enemies onto this platform. We made it. That's fine because there's no checkpoint right, or another helmet right there. We're making very, very good progress to these stages so far. Jumping through here. Now we don't have to worry about anything being on top of us there. Worried about spinning, and we're at one of the last checkpoints of the game. I think there's one more after this. Now we have these platforms here, these section. You move the direction it's going, but as I'm going to stand in a specific spot, try to. I'm just going to walk instead. Oh my goodness.
Oops. Uh-oh.
The game would not cooperate there. Okay. And we jump over a box. Let's go. Let's just do it again. And springtime. Wait, that was the helmet. Oh, the spring was the one on top. My memory's been fading on this game already. I'm trying to get to stand. Maybe that's not one that has one. I can't remember. This one has one. This is what I'm talking about. There we go. Okay. So we can stand on top up here. There we go. I'm getting my platforms mixed up. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to stay in the top corner each time because these platforms, these boxes can push you over. If you stand up to the top corners, you cannot get pushed off. And also, I think it's funny, there's literally back-to-back helmets. Like, you're going to take damage between those two spots. Like, and they don't stack. So, don't know why that was there, ever. Here's a spot. I get right here, and you see I'm not moving. So now my momentum stays neutral. So that's the reason we do that. And then we stay up here and wait for this platform to come back around, and we just run to it. Okay. We jump over the green danger crate, and then we're at the end of the stage. So now we got to walk through. Make sure we don't die here. I'm going to wait for these platforms to go, these electricity bars, because if you jump into them, you can actually get launched through the ceiling, and then you got to do the whole section again. All right. Okay, cool. So now we're into the final boss. We are at the final boss. Time will be at the end of the final boss when it fades out. I'll kind of give you guys I'll give you about 3 or 4 seconds heads up. This is a pretty short fight, so time is coming up within the next hopefully 30 seconds if I don't die when we're doing this. So that starts off by that platform is a platform that we need to be on, that giant M. And these platforms will glow with electricity. When it starts moving forward, we're going to jump forward. We're going to keep going left or right, left, right. Jump around it. And time is in 3, 2, 1, time. There we go. We're going to let this cutscene play for a second. This is the final cutscene of the game. This is our ending cutscene here, which you guys donated for fantastically.
Ah, the wonders of teamwork. You mess things up, I put the factory back in order, the big boss rewards us with a cruise ship vacation.
Get out of town and don't even think of coming back, was how he put it.
Details, details. Just promise me this. Next time you decide to leave a pack of tiny, hysterical snack items in charge of vital operations, run it by me first!
Well, the minis said they're really sorry. They want to make it up to us.
But of course, you told them that would not be necessary. That is what you told them, isn't it? Because as for me, I don't want to see another minis as long as I live. And I won't have to, right? I mean, it's not as if they're running the cruise ship or anything, because that would be terrible. I mean, you didn't leave the minis in charge of the cruise ship. Say something, my peanutty pal. You didn't leave the minis in charge of the cruise ship. Ah! What's wrong wrong with you? Do you consider thinking an extreme sport? Is there a brain in there with that oversized nut of yours?
The minis aren't that bad. Well, all they need is a chance.
I'll give you a chance. When I throw you overboard, I won't aim for the biggest shark. 3 weeks on the cruise ship of catastrophe.
I hear the shuffleboard is state of the art.
There's our
Don't
voice
wait for
actor
me.
there.
I want to be alone.
We can talk about this, can't we, little buddy? I mean, you and me, we can always talk, right? Red.
What?
Little Minis guy wants to borrow your drink umbrella.
And there we go. That is Eminem's Shell Shocked. I hope you guys enjoyed that run. It was a fun run, like I said. We're going to really quick. We want to make that sure we get this right. This cutscene was the one that we skipped.
Hey, Red, this reminds me of the time we were shooting a commercial outside that paint store, and the paint cans blew up, and we flew half a mile into a garbage truck, and the...
Yeah. Thanks for that do-si-do down memory lane.
And that was the other cutscene there. There we go. But again, I hope everybody enjoyed this game. It's an interesting little speedrunning game with all the jank, but it's definitely an awesome spot for the silly block that we got going on. You guys, anyone can find me over at kingrhodestn, at my Twitch. I do a lot of Sonic speedruns. I will be back in the Sonic 3D Blast relay race that'll be coming up in about 2 hours or so, I think, something along those lines. So, yeah, other than that, I'm good to go. Thank you guys for watching.
And thank you, King Rhodes, for that awesome discount Eminem Shell Shock run. We're going to have a brief intermission. I can't talk today. We're going to have a brief intermission here. And when we come back, we're going to have Oil Moon running Streets of Rage 4. So stick around, enjoy the music, and we'll see you when we come back from the break.